Join Cycling provides science-based adaptive training plans ensuring continuous fitness improvement. I've experienced it firsthand this year, and with Join, everyone can improve your fitness in an easy, accessible, and enjoyable way. Stage 1 of the Tour de France is here, the big one we've all been waiting for. Poggi slapped everyone in the Giro. Time for some real competition. The big four here with an Italian Grand Depart beginning in Florence under 35-degree temps with climbs all day, nearly 4,000 meters altitude gain, but the last climb's not so hard and it's pretty far from the finish. Beautiful starts. The team's presentation was amazing. Maybe not so beautiful for the sprinters, but an opportunity for riders like Tadej Pogacar when Mr. Prudhomme put the banner down. And UAE were at the front. They were trying to monitor proceedings, but there was a lot of teams trying to go in the breakaway. Kung, Vermeersch, FDJ and Alpecin. So that means Van der Poel didn't think he was getting the break today. Decathlon, Arkea jumping, and look who it is. Trek, initially trying to go for Mads Pedersen. They tried to control the breakaway, or they did. And UAE used Soler and Pollitt because they were interested, at least initially, in going for the stage win. But there was way more teams than last year trying to get in this breakaway, making UAE's life difficult. And when this man starts jumping, stage 1, Matej Mohoric starts jumping in the break, you best get on his wheel and start moving because he senses it. And just his break, he jumped once or twice, gone. Madouas, Mohoric, Frank van den Broek blocks up behind. Break is gone, and it's a nasty break. Abrahamsen tries to bridge from the peloton, a 1:14 gap. Jonas Vingegaard, bit of a wardrobe malfunction initially as he had a mechanical or changed bike. Maybe it's a double zipper P-brake. And then your man, look at the push. Look at the push-off. I think he did the Roglic push-off in the Giro TT, and then Vingegaard drops his head unit. So he's losing his head unit, changing bikes, zipper undone. But he gets back to the peloton under his own steam, no worries at all. Actually seemed pretty relaxed, to be honest. They didn't drop anyone back for him. Abrahamsen, though, he trucks over to that breakaway. Gibbons says, thanks for the pull after not helping. In UAE, they seem happy. They're like, we wanted it, but now it's gone. It's too big for us to control. And the break starts to go. Roglic and Bora chilling. They look easy day for them on the left-hand side. And Pollitt's on the radio like, the gap is nearly 5 minutes. Are we going for the stage win? Do we call the bluff of someone to come and chase? But it's hot conditions on these long climbs. And Mark Cavendish was the first to drop. Jakobsen not long after with Rickard. And the break wasn't going that hard at this point. But it was so hot, at least in the first 100 Ks of this stage. Some cloud cover came across later, but EF, they blinked. They didn't jump in the breakaway. They wanted to go for Bettiol, even though it's a flat finish. And so they started to pace, and that was bad news for Cavendish because the peloton sped up. He was just dropping on that first long categorized climb, and they sped up at the end of it, and suddenly he's on 4 minutes. And he's not looking good for the time limit. Van der Poel comes to front. What does that mean? Probably doesn't think he can go for the stage today, and it was just a grind for everybody. But then EF disappear. Gap goes out from 3 minutes again, out to 4.5 minutes. We're thinking, why is there no consistent pacing? And then they're back. Maybe they're waiting for Quinn to return or some rouleurs like Bissiger, and it comes down from 5 minutes to 4:30. But now's the moment of truth. The hardest climb of the day, Côte de Barbato. Are UAE going to send it? Are they going to test Jonas Vingegaard in his first stage in competition after the crash in the Basque Country? And the answer was sort of. They tried Wellens, short pull drops David Gaudu out the back door, the breakaway splitting apart, Izagirre's cracking, but Wellens is gone. Soler takes over, and he pulls for maybe 700 meters and pulls off, and then it's Sivakov, and no one's really following him up. There's no Yates launch, Ayuso looks a bit suspect, Mathieu Van der Poel drops, and only right at the end of the Barbato climb do we see Mads Pedersen dropping and Trek getting all around him to try and bring him back, keep him cool. Because the next climbs are not as hard. They're 4.5K, 7%, 7.5%. The next couple, and the last climb is no problem for Pedersen. And UAE slow down. They use Sivakov in the valley. There's the Côte de Saint-Leo coming up that you can see. Van Aert's in the group. Who are they going to pace with? The answer from now on was nobody. And actually, Visma Leasabike put Benoit on the front. Say thank you very much. Was it because Ayuso started to look really suspect in the heat? Was it for the Van Aert stage win? But Bardet jumps, quickly gets 40 seconds on the peloton on that San Leo climb, and he's got a satellite rider, Frank van den Broek, who won the Tour of Turkey. I know you all watched that Paul Double or Double video earlier where this man won GC, and he gets across Bardet to him, and they start absolutely smashing. They go past, they catch the breakaway again, they go past Madouas. Now Healy jumps, and Tratnik's like, all right, you can jump. He starts still pacing for Wout van Aert, and Healy gets caught in a kind of awkward chasse patate because EF, they wanted the stage win. They knew that probably the sprint wasn't the option, but this move from Healy wasn't it because he was just not making any progress. And probably at this point, they needed to call him back to give their riders Bettiol and Rui Costa some options. But he's allowed to dangle for quite some time, whilst Kelderman, who, predictably crashed, didn't make much of an impression on the gap. And this is only a 4% climb. Healy's finally caught. The gap's 130, 24 Ks to go against two, climbers, a descent, 17 Ks of flat light work, right? But 4,000 meters elevation, heat. Frank van den Broek being an absolute mini pickup truck meant that Little Trek, EF and Visma Lisa Bike weren't making that much progress. They brought 40 seconds out pretty quickly, but then they start to get tired. They're going for Pedersen for Trek, Van Aert for Visma, and I think Bettiol for EF, Education Easy Post. And Frank van den Broek's pulling. He's stronger than Bardet. There's Campenaerts in there, but he doesn't pull for Van Hills UAE. They got 5 in the group, and Pogacar, they don't pull, even though there's free bonus seconds. Okay, there's a bit of moto interference maybe that the commissaires weren't too happy about, but an absolute masterclass from DSM. They got in the breakaway with one of their best riders, super talent Dutchman Frank van den Broek. Bardet has the cojones to bridge across, and they do a 2-up TT to deny Van Aert and the big GC guns, winning the stage with Romain Bardet, Van Aert third. What a win. Big hats off to DSM. And in his last Tour de France, the Frenchman Bardet takes the huge dub ski. Ahead of Frank van den Broek, his teammate then Van Aert, Pogacar, Van Hills, Arambaru, Pedersen, Evenepoel, Bilbao and Bettiol. Here's what the always eloquent Romain Bardet had to say after the stage.
It was the ultimate dream for me to wear once the yellow jersey in my life. I wasn't sure it was meant to be because I was fighting to be as close as possible to this jersey during almost a decade, a bit less, but from 14 to 2022, I would say I was really trying to be the best guy, fighting for it on the long run, and now I came back to my, I think, real nature and trying to do some more, being more natural and following my instinct.
Tomorrow's another Italian classic. They go up the steep San Luca climb, even closer to the finish. Should be some good GC action. Who do you think will win? Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you with a recap then. Ciao.